I think that this ACL injury is actually the best thing for Patrick Mahomes in this moment. I don't want to say, like, it's not great that he's injured. It's not great that he tore his ACL. But this Chiefs team was going to be stagnant, and they were going to continue to do the same operation year after year. Why? Because they had the best player in football. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the B Team. We got Mikey, we got Muller. Mike, this is the first episode in the history of this show that we are recording, and the Kansas City Chiefs are not playoff eligible. They are not in the playoffs. They are not able to make it into the playoffs. They are eliminated. The first time ever in this show. This is the first episode where we are recording, and we have a 44-year-old grandpa as a quarterback and did well. It's incredible, and I can't wait to break it all down here. We got the top 10. We got the NFL Week 15. We got a little Week 16 preview involved in this as well. A lot happened this week. A lot happened today. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start right off the bat with our top 10? I think that's the way to go here, especially with quarterbacks and what we're going to have to get into. I think it's the best way to go. So I'm going to hand it off to you.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off there. But yeah, we'll do top 10 because this will probably be my second last until the end of the season, where I have my final top 10 for quarterbacks, end of the regular season. Real quick on the Chiefs, this is the first episode that we've recorded where they haven't been in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, clinching an AFC championship. Listen, I know it's crazy. It is crazy to think, but listen, they've been there for so long for, a reason. They are a great team. They're going to have these down years. Like I said, when Brady got injured and Matt Castle came in, same thing happened. But I think, this is an opportunity for growth now for them. It's where, you put aside what has happened this year and you look for a chance to get better. This was a good wake-up call for the Chiefs, in my opinion, to really see their talent and, evaluate what they really need and what they want. Because at the end of the day, you got to get Mahomes what he wants. You got to protect him. There's a lot that they got to do. And it's wild to say, we a couple weeks ago, I'm going to believe it when I see it. They're that type of team. So
yeah, well, we'll get into all that because we're going to get into a lot of the AFC and what's going on there, because what has been basically an NFC heavy season in terms of drama, what's going to happen. It seemed very straightforward in the AFC. Everyone thought like this was going to happen. The Chiefs were going to sneak in at the end. Bills would be there. Ravens were going to catch the Steelers. And it just hasn't turned out that way at all, really. Patriots still playing well. It's the AFC is where the drama is right now. The NFC is basically concrete. We know what's happening outside of the Bucks and Panthers, but I'm kind of leaning one way there as well. AFC is where the drama is. That's what we're going to get into today. But off the top, let's start with your top 10, Mike. Give it to us. It's been a couple weeks.
Gotcha. Yeah, been a couple weeks for the top 10. Disclaimer, I excluded guys, like Patrick Mahomes, who is now injured. I can't really rank him. Because again, Lamar, Burrow, Mahomes would always be in my top 10. For Lamar and Burrow, just too small of a sample size. They were out for a while. And also, with Lamar, it just hasn't been the best season for him. Burrow, just came back. So I can't really place these guys right now. It's not fair to the guys who have played, a full 14 weeks. And obviously Mahomes going down, can't really place him. He's only going to fall. So this was probably the toughest list that I've come up with. So I'll start from 10 to 1 being the best in the league. Anything you want to say before I get in?
No, yeah, I would like to have a little conversation with each one, as this is probably the last one before the playoffs. I would like to converse a little bit because usually we just fly through. But I think like now, at this point in the season, I think we can really talk about some of these guys because the top 10, it's probably not going to change from now to the end of the season. Maybe some movement there, but the guys that are there now, they're going to be the guys.
For me, like the way I'm looking at this is that there are a lot of movers. Like guys jumped in, guys jumped out. It's really that like 6 to 10 where it's always been, fluctuating between, guys entering, guys exiting. But I have probably 3 new guys in the top 10 just based off how they've been doing. Like I'll say now, Baker's probably like 11-12 now, and I love
Absolutely.
Baker. But it hasn't been the best season for the Bucs in general. They've won some games; they're still in contention for the NFC South. But when he's missing four of his starting receivers, obviously it's going to knock his numbers down. He's not going to make it in, but he could be a guy. Next week he'll be right back in it. But I'll start out here. Do you want to? You want me to pick one and then we'll talk about it? Or
Yeah, give me number 10. Full transparency, I did put together a top 10 myself to compare where our thought processes are. But I agree with you. 6 to 10 is not easy to place. I would say 9 and 10 was the hardest.
Yeah, and again, like
10 was the hardest.
I did, like I could have put Mahomes at 5 because his numbers are great, but he's hurt. So all right, I'm gonna knock it off here. Number 10. New entry. I'm gonna put Jordan Love in there. I think recently, he's been a guy. I think more for me and not for you. You've been high on Jordan Love. I haven't. I think his last couple of weeks he's looked much better. Again, one of those situations where he never really had his receivers. They're starting to get healthier. Jaden Reed's back. Very good game against the Broncos. It was a tough game in Denver. Not an easy place to play. I thought he did fine. I thought he did fine against the Bears as well. I thought he's looked much better than I expected. So I think number 10 is perfect for him. Any thoughts on that?
No, I agree with you. I can't see him pushing top 5 at the moment. I know last week I did bring up the idea of him possibly being MVP, which looking back on it, pretty crazy take. But I think Jordan Love, if he had one more elite wide receiver, if he did, honestly, I say one more, but really it's one elite wide receiver, right? If he had a George Pickens on that team, and then you had the what's his name, Christian Watson, Dobbs, like if you add those guys and sprinkle them in with a very elite wide receiver that can go up and catch the ball, especially in red zone, I can't see Jordan Love not being a top 5 quarterback. Now, that also brings in the idea of Jalen Hurts, does he need the help, right? But I agree with you. I like what Jordan Love's been doing this year. I think the middle part of the season he struggled a bit. Not necessarily even struggled, just all the injuries you brought up didn't help him at all. And now you're seeing them get healthy on offense. Josh Jacobs is a beast. And I thought when Kraft went down, it was going to be very tough, and it was. But they've found a way forward. I think that offense is playing very well. It's going to be interesting what the defense does now. Micah Parsons tore his ACL. I like that. Jordan Love at 10.
Yeah, with Jordan Love, real quick, I like he's a risk taker, and he's one of those guys as a quarterback where he doesn't mind throwing the 1v1, go up and grab it type of pass. Even with
look at who
Watson,
look at who he learned from.
Yeah,
he learned from Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers learned from Brett Favre. I mean, these aren't two guys that are going to go out there and it's going to be a vanilla offense. They're gonna try and make stuff happen.
Yeah, and there's no disrespect to Christian Watson, but it's not like that guy's a solidified number 1. You've said it for years. It's been a very mediocre receiving core. There's not a number like that true number 1 who you can target, who could be your guy. He pretty much has Christian Watson to be that guy at the moment. He had Jaden Reed 2 years ago be that guy, and last year. So a lot of fluctuation with the Packers receiving core. So I thought he's done fine with it overall. Number 9, I'm gonna put Hurts there. They're still winning games. I'm gonna get shit if he's not in the top 10. I thought about it. There was a moment where I'm like, I don't know if he's even a top 10 quarterback right now. You look at his last week, he went 12 for 15 for 175 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them being shovel passes to Dallas Goedert. Very good throw to AJ. Listen, I'll give it to him. On those goal balls that Kevin Patullo schemes up for him, he does hit him in stride. He shows accuracy. It's just been a very up and down season for Jalen Hurts. But listen, he's rattling off wins with the help of the defense. Being smart with the ball. He's a very one of the harder quarterbacks to place in my top 10. If this was a Philly podcast and I was a Phillies fan, he would be in it every single week, and he has been. But a lot of the other quarterbacks that are out of it haven't been the best. But Jalen, he's doing what he needs to do. He's making the throws. He's the numbers are there. If you want to, believe it or not, we can go on and on about Jalen Hurts, but I think 9 is a good spot. Jordan Love could be in front. I think 9 is fine.
Yeah. And you're right. You're right. We could go on about it. We have gone on about it. We won't go on about it. But I want it on record that I had Jalen Hurts ranked higher than Mike this week. I had him ranked as the 8th best quarterback. Now, Jalen Hurts, I make fun of him a lot. I do. And I hand up, I know it, hand up accountability. I make fun of Jalen Hurts a lot. That Chargers game was awesome. But like at the end of the day, what Jalen Hurts, everywhere he goes, he wins. It's just what he does. And I've said this before on this show as well. I have to respect the body of work that Jalen Hurts brings to the table because it works. It just does. Like, I can't hate on winning. It's very tough to hate on winning. If he was a 500 quarterback playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, everyone would probably agree with me a little more. But he just wins, and it's impressive. And he's about to be the first quarterback in a very long time to go back-to-back NFC East champion. And I wouldn't be surprised if they make the NFC championship. I stayed true to that from week 1 to now, that they could easily make it to the NFC championship game and possibly Super Bowl again, even though Philly fans, gave up on this team 2 weeks ago. I truly do. I agree with you. Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback this year. And, I think he belongs in that 7 to 10 range. I think there's a lot of guys playing really good football, and he might not be playing the best, most attractive style of football, but he is the quarterback that wins the most games every year.
Yeah. And it's what's tricky about Jalen Hurts is exactly that. It's wins, and to me, like, I just don't
Team stat.
that. Agreed. I don't think it's solely on one guy, and Philly fans can agree with this. Like, it's not only him that's carrying him to wins. It's the defense. It's the O-line. It's the defense has been spectacular in my opinion. Besides a couple of games, but it's one of those where he is one of the he's just a gear, and he fits well in the system, and he just he does what he has to do. His numbers aren't they're not wow, but with the team, how good that team is, they don't have to be. I said it last year. He doesn't have to throw the ball 40 times a game. When he does, it's been ugly. But when he's not throwing the ball 40 times and he's throwing it 25, max 30 times, he's getting wins. And I got to give him credit for that. So again, one of the harder quarterbacks to place, Jalen Hurts. 9 is more than fair. And a lot of the guys below him haven't been doing that well because of, they just regressed. The defense has regressed. The players are injured, et cetera, et cetera. So Jalen at 9.
I agree. I have one more thing on this.
Go ahead.
I think it'd be hilarious if they went and got Tua and made him Jalen Hurts' backup. It's like one more punch in the face to Tua after the dreadful seasons that he's had the last couple of years, just for taking over in that championship game and kicking Jalen Hurts out of Alabama. I think it would be funny. It would make sense for the Eagles. I think they should do it. Accept that cap hell.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, well, yeah, never mind on that. But listen, Tanner McKee is most likely going to be shipped off somewhere, in my opinion, because I don't think they're going to pay him. There are going to be quarterback needy teams, either as a starting quarterback or a backup, that are probably going to pay a big buck for Tanner McKee. Now, what does Howie do with that? I don't know. Does he see Jalen Hurts as, still being that guy? Because Philly fans are calling for Tanner McKee 2 weeks ago, even weeks before that. Tanner McKee time, like, idiots. Okay, idiots. But Jalen Hurts at 9. Let's move on. Yep. Number 8, another skeptical pick, but wins. I'm going to throw wins in there, and he's been playing better. Not the best, but I think he's been playing better. I think last week showed. I'm going to throw Bo in there. I think Bo Nix at 8 is a fair spot. Against Green Bay, that is a massive win. 4 touchdowns. He went off, and he looked great doing it. It's not like his receivers are the best either. Cortland Sutton's kind of regressing again. Troy Franklin, solid. he's kind of slipping a little bit. He's been phenomenal, and I think his run, him using his legs as well. Listen, the Packers defense is also what's keeping them afloat. It's not just Jordan Love in the offense. The defense is the heart of that team. So Bo winning that game I think it was in Denver. That was a huge win. He had a great game. So I'm throwing him at 8. Was that your number 9?
Yep, that was just about to say. Him and Jalen Hurts, we just had them flip-flopped. I have a question about Bo Nix. Do you think Sean Payton actually likes Bo Nix?
I do.
I've seen a lot of stuff where I can't tell if he likes him or not, or if he's because it's just, I don't know. I feel Sean Payton's also very hard to read, but I just feel like he doesn't like the guy.
But this is my thing now. Denver is, and I've been a big believer in Denver. I still do. You know this. Their defense let up almost 28 points against Green Bay. Bo Nix had to come in and pretty much, like Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl. They stopped the run game. They were like, okay, here we go, Hurts, do it. Bo Nix has been doing that. When the defense hasn't showed up, he's come in and he's gotten wins. Look at the Giants game, way back where they were losing. They're the one team, I believe, in the fourth quarter, they're always down and they come back and win. And that's credit to the offense. That's credit to Bo for going out there and putting the team on his back. And I got it. It's going unnoticed. It really is. But yeah, I mean, I think Bo's been doing great. That last game was very, very impressive. Again, 11 straight wins, by the way. I believe they won 11 straight. So you might have to fact check me there, but they are rolling. Give credit to them.
Yeah. 7.
All right, number 7. I'm going to throw Caleb in here. Again, it's been so tough. Like it's been shaky, but he's been doing well. As a sophomore too, with Ben Johnson, it's pretty much been excellent. And there have been games where he hasn't looked the best, but they're winning. They're winning, and he's doing what he has to do. Rome Odunze's been out. DJ Moore has pretty much not really done he hasn't been the guy that they wanted him to be, and he's finding ways to get it done. Whether it be, Cole Kmet, the run game's been fantastic, but he's one of those where he's another gear, kind of like Hurts, but has been doing a little bit more when it comes to throwing, and being more aggressive in the offense rather than with the Eagles. So I got Caleb at 7. That's really all I got for him. But can't discredit the record, can't discredit how he's looked when he's won. Yeah, Caleb at 7.
No, I agree with you. I think he's done really well. I thought he had some sick throws this week. But he's another one where I don't know if the coach actually likes him. There's a lot of chatter that he's going to get traded. I don't know why you would trade that guy. He was crowned the next best thing last year. He's supposed to be the best quarterback ever, and he's starting to look like it. I don't know why you would trade the guy. That's another fan base where, if they're actually looking at trading him, we got to take a look in the mirror. Let's not act like the Chicago Bears have been really good recently. They've been pretty shit. Lucas, you know it. Mike, give me number 6.
Number 6, I got your boy Dak here, and
okay.
I wish I could put him higher.
He's had 2 stinkers. He's had 2 stinkers since we last talked about this.
Yes,
I can admit that.
That loss against Minnesota, and that's not on him. He threw for 294 yards, and last 4 games he's thrown over 290 yards. So he's still a very good quarterback. He's doing what he's got to do. That's just a defensive thing right there against number 9.
We got 9'd. I got 9'd. I don't know what to say. I got 9'd. I'm one of the few guys this year to get 9'd. I hope there's a lot more to get 9'd. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I was making fun of everybody. I was making fun of Hurts last week when he got 9'd, and now, Dak Prescott got 9'd. I wish Eberflus's head was on it because that would make more sense. That's a bad joke to put Dax on it, but I understand it. I got 9'd.
Yeah, but I think he's still, he's still the leader of that team, and I still think he's been fantastic this season. He honestly could be higher. But that loss just really stings. But Dak is still there. I have no problem with Dak. I still think he's been terrific this year, and he's keeping them in games. That's the biggest thing. He's been keeping them in games. Him and Shoddy are a fantastic combination. The future is bright for them. I will say the future is very bright. Any thoughts?
Nope, that's nice. I want to end on that. I want to end right what you said.
All right. Number 5, big leap. Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Right now, I mean, look, dude, 9 touchdowns, 0 picks in his last 3 games. This is the Trevor we've been waiting for. He's looked so much more fluid in the pocket. He's reading coverages better. He looks so much more accurate. And I know he just played the Jets. You know, Jets defense can be stingy, but Jacoby Myers comes in, is clicking with him right off the bat. Yes, I know BTJ hasn't been the guy, but you know, I think Travis Hunter's been out. It's not like he's got massive weapons as a receiving corps. BTJ hasn't been the guy that we thought he has been. Hopefully he will. But Trevor's been fantastic, using his legs, driving the ball downfield, time of possession. He's looked awesome these last 3 weeks. I got him at 5. Little high, could have Dak there, but I got to give him his credit. I got to give him his flowers.
Dude, have we gotten to the point where Trevor Lawrence he went from being overrated last year to now he's underrated this year? He just skipped right over rated. He just went from overrated to underrated. Like I feel like we're all forgetting who Trevor Lawrence was and is. The dude didn't lose for like 8 years.
Yes, and you know, this goes back to our conversation where Dougie P was still the coach and they gave him a bag. And everyone's like, oh, this is crazy. That was a stupid move. And, you know, I think you and I were on the other side where, listen, this is a good move because, you know, we haven't really seen it. They're taking a gamble on Trevor Lawrence, and it's now looking like it's paying off. You bring in the right guys around him. Dougie P was on his way out. Everyone knew that. There's been so much turmoil amongst offensive coordinators, head coaches in Jacksonville, a team that everybody forgets. But now he's got Liam Cohen. The offense looks great. Looks exactly like how the Bucs did last year. And he's flourished in that offense. He really has.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Bucs could use Liam Cohen right now.
They could use a guy like him that's, you know, not in Duval, but they could use a guy like him. Again, I love the Bucs. I don't want to I hate that they're losing, but oh man, they've been a really tough team to bet on this year. And luckily I've tried to stay away, and I've done a very decent job staying away from them. But yeah, no, Trevor, you know, this is what fans of the Jaguars and even fans of the NFL have been waiting for. And I agree. He really went from overrated, skipped rated to underrated because no one talks about the Jaguars. The Colts had that division locked up. The Jaguars didn't give up, and now I think they're sitting in the top first place with Houston. Yeah. So they're in a battle now with Houston. Trevor is on a roll. Jacoby Myers looks great with him, and he's now flourishing. So I'm going to give him number 5 here. I'm going to get a lot of scrutiny for that, but it is the truth.
All right. Sick, bro. Number 4.
Cool story. Now make me a sandwich. Number 4, Drake May.
Bang.
Yeah, Drake May. Listen, over 250 passing yards since week 8, except last week. You know, last week with the, you know, run game kind of carried him. But another guy scored 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, nice rushing touchdowns. You know, winning games as well. Running game, again, took over, but has also flourished. He's been excellent, making guys like, you know, Demario Douglas and Mac Hollins and Keyshawn Boot look good. Keyshawn Boot is good, or Booty, whatever. They're rolling. The Patriots are rolling. You know, he's been pretty much a top 5 quarterback this whole year. Last 2 weeks hasn't been the best, but again, with the rushing touchdown, kind of balances it out. So still almost won the game. Very close against a good Bills team, you know, that they're in contention for the AFC East. But I got him at number 4. I think it's a fair spot.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. And just talking about the game this week, Drake May, I mean, why would you throw the ball when Travion Henderson could just run it for 80 yards every time he touched the ball? That Buffalo Bills defense got shredded by him. But Drake May has looked so good this year that even if he has one bad week, I think you still got to have him in the top 5. He should be very, very well in that MVP race. I think he's 3rd overall right now for the MVP on FanDuel at least. But no, I think he's been great. I think Vrabel has really changed the culture there in New England. I think this was a very good loss for them. You know, if they win this game, they go into the playoffs. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times. It's more than likely they would have to see Josh Allen again. So now it's 1-1. We'll have the rubber match in the playoffs most likely. I look forward to it. I think that him and Josh Allen have been playing the best football in the AFC. Almost, I'll say the second half of the season, because I know early on Josh Allen had his troubles. So second half of the season, I think Josh Allen and Drake May, it's just like, I feel like everything's building up to an AFC championship between them two. And it's just going to be a sick game like we've seen the first two times.
Yeah, that's a matchup that all eyes are going to be on that matchup, because, Josh Allen, it's tough with him because he needs to win. He's got to get to that. He's got to get to the big stage. And, he's been waiting for years now to get there. He's been so close at times, but this is, this time of the season, this is where it matters the most. And Josh Allen showed it, which is why I have not mentioned his name yet. He showed it on Sunday. He really did. James Cook showed it on Sunday. He showed it on Sunday. He's carrying. And that's the difference from, guys like him, compared to these other quarterbacks that might be also winning, like a Hurts, like a Trevor,
Like, follow, subscribe, back to the show.
Number 3, I'm going to get so much crap for this. I absolutely love this pick so much. Look at his numbers. The record might not be there, but it's fine because he is doing what he's got to do. His numbers are fantastic. Jared Goff, bro. He is flying this year. I'm sorry, bro. 29 touchdowns, 5 interceptions this year. He is a top 10 quarterback 4 out of the last 6 games. Did they lose to the Rams? Yes, that is the Rams. The Rams are one of the best teams in the NFC. Okay, they've had a loaded schedule this whole season. He's been fantastic. Jared Goff has been fantastic. I know they just lost, but he is cooking. Jahmyr Gibbs was a non-factor against the Rams, and they still lost by a touchdown. So Jared Goff, number 3. Thoughts, Muller?
I mean, we're setting up to just leave someone out that I think shouldn't be left out. But yeah, continue. I think Jared Goff's been good. I think he gets carried, though. I think he gets carried by a very, very weaponized offense.
Not last week, even though they lost. You're missing your best running back. Probably one of the best running backs, if not the best in the league, was a non-factor. He was irrelevant. He was irrelevant and still came up just short. Targeting Amon-Ra, still missing Sam Laporta. He's got Brock Wright as a tight end. Jamison Williams is now finally starting to break out. He's hitting these guys. He's reading coverages. He's finding his weapons, and he's accurate. People don't realize how accurate Jared Goff actually is. He can't move, okay? He can't move. All he does is sling the ball. I'm going to get so much crap for it, but I do not care. Jared Goff deserves to be in this. He deserves to be on this list. He really does. He's better than Trevor right now. He's been better than Dak. Drake May, I think he's got better numbers, but close. Drake May could be over him, but he's better than Caleb right now. He's better than Bo. He's better than Hurts. He's better than Jordan Love. Simple.
I won't say he's not better than them. I just am seeing. You're forgetting. I think you're forgetting about someone. But all right, continue. I think I know who the top 2 are going to be.
Yeah, you already know. Number 2 is Josh Allen, of course. Josh Allen, back-to-back games, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Big win against the Pats. Carrying. We already talked about it. Josh Allen 2. Number 1, Matty Stafford. That he's going to be number 1. He's been number 1 for probably the last 8 weeks, 9 weeks. 37 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 360 yards passing versus Detroit. 37 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Jared Goff, 29 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Yes, I know, but still. Jared Goff, okay, we're moving on. Matthew Stafford has been the best quarterback in the league so far. Josh Allen, you could put him at number 1. You could put Matthew Stafford number 2. But what I've seen from Stafford at his age, he's been fantastic. And that's also with a hurt Puka Nacua. He hasn't been the same guy, and you can tell. He hasn't been that top. The player is there. The skill set is there. But I think he's been dealing with an injury, and he's been relying on Devontae Adams. Literally 2 guys that he's been throwing to. He's been eating. So I like the list. Let me hear your list because I feel like it's pretty close.
So, I agree with you. Matthew Stafford and Josh Allen, the 2 best quarterbacks right now. But what I don't agree with is the order that you have them in. I have Josh Allen as the number one quarterback right now. I think he's playing at an elite level. I think he's playing at a level where it almost feels like, and let's look at this last game, for instance. They're down 21-0, and Josh Allen has the ball in his hands. And you're sitting there on the couch, and we're all thinking the same thing. If Josh Allen scores here, we have a game. And what happened? He scores, they come back out, he scores again, they get the ball back, scores again. They went 5 straight possessions with a touchdown. He couldn't be stopped in that football game. And, I don't know what was going on with him. He was throwing up on the sideline at one point, it looked like. He had some crazy shit happening. So Josh Allen, I think, is very clearly the best quarterback in the league at the moment. We're going to have the Lamar guys out here. We're going to have the Matt Stafford guys out here. We're going to have the Drake Mays, the delusional Cowboys fans that think Dak Prescott's even above him. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in this football league, and I'm happy to say that we're at the point in the season where it's been this every year we've been on the pod, where I get to, at this point in the season, say, I'm cheering for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. So, with that being said, I would like to put on my jersey.
Go ahead. Say it.
Because Josh Allen is tall, Josh Allen has big hands, and Josh Allen's going to win a Super Bowl this year, Mike. I don't care what you say in the rankings. He can be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't really care. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in this league, and he's winning a Super Bowl this year, and I'm going to laugh when everyone says I'm wrong, and then he goes and does it this year. My hair looks terrible.
You gotta go. Fucking history professor, bro. So is mine, though. Mine's bad, too. But, everything you said about Josh Allen, you're spot on. Believe me. He's been fantastic. He's been great. We are now a part of this. We are at the stage in the cycle where we are believing in the Bills again, all to, ruin us in the playoffs. But I really, as a Jets fan, I'm rooting for the guy. He's going to be a father, by the way. He's now going to be a father. Yep. I really do hope that he does win a Super Bowl. It's not even, I don't care about the Bills. I hope Josh Allen, as the quarterback that he is, I hope that he does make it. But I just think Matt Stafford has been fantastic. Sorry.
No, he has. I can't argue that. I think right now, if we're going off of like current status, Josh Allen, just week to week, I just feel like he's trending in the direction of if the season was 20 weeks long, he would be the MVP.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's where the trend's going.
Yeah, I told you, you could really just swap them out. Maybe there's a little bias in it, but yeah. I think at Matt Stafford's age, but what is he, 30, 34, 35? He's old, man, and he's fucking slinging it. He's slinging the ball. 37 touchdowns, 5 picks. I can't let that go unnoticed. He's been fantastic. He's been unreal. He's so accurate. He is so fun to watch. And listen, stacked NFC conference. He's been getting it done, man. He's been getting it done. The Rams have been getting it done. And I got to give him his flowers as well. I mean, Detroit, banged up Detroit team, but they didn't step down to that. They didn't let the defense handle them. They took care of business. Almost for 400 yards. So nice. I feel like we have very similar players on the list. Let me go through it again. Number 10, Jordan Love. 9, Jalen Hurts. 8, Bo Nix. 7, Caleb Williams. 6, Dak Prescott. 5, Trevor Lawrence. 4, Drake May. 3, Jared Goff. 2, Josh Allen. 1, Matthew Stafford. Excluding Mahomes, Lamar, and Burrow. Small sample size for Lamar and Burrow. Mahomes is now hurt.
Mike, no one, before I give my list, if we're doing a true top 10 of the quarterbacks this year, no one should have Lamar or Burrow in it. Burrow's looked horrible. He's sending out cryptic messages. He doesn't even look like he enjoys the game of football right now, which, fine, he doesn't have to. But Lamar, at the same time, if you go back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we're looking at a completely different Lamar Jackson this season. He never practices. He's always injured. And then he goes out and he plays, and it's hit or miss what you're going to get with the guy. He looked very good this week. Who knows what he's going to look like next week? I don't think either one's earned the right to even touch the top 10, let alone top 15 this season. I mean, maybe Lamar in the top 15. But Joe Burrow, I would probably have him around 20 if we're really going to look at this list, because The guy that I was saying you're going to leave out is Justin Herbert. I think he's been a warrior. I know he doesn't put up the numbers all the time, but I think he's been amazing the last couple of weeks. He continues to win in tight games. That defense is fantastic. But there's a lot of guys that even I left out of my list that I think should be on the list for top 10. I would go with Sam Darnold, Bo Nix, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott, Drake, Trevor, Stafford, Allen. That would be my list.
Yeah, I think the one that you said that was very close. Darnold, he makes a case close. It's for me. It's like Herbert could have been number 10. He has been battling an injury and he has been getting the wins. He could have been in it as well. I think Sam Darnold, very close. And who else did you say? Baker. You didn't say Baker, but
oh no, but that's another guy we left off. Like Baker, you have what's his name? Bryce Young. You could put Bryce Young in there. You still have Brock Purdy, who I think is starting to look like the real Brock Purdy again. The last 2 weeks, I think he's been great. I keep looking at the wrong camera, but who else is there? I'm forgetting someone. Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, love it.
No, but I feel like there's at least 14 guys who are playing better than the Stroud. CJ Stroud, that's what I was forgetting. That's why I wanted Phillip Rivers. I was like, he's somewhere down there. Couldn't think of him. But no, there's a lot of guys who are playing really good football and have been consistently playing good to very good football basically all season. Like, it's hard for me to say Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow belong in that top 10, top 15 category. Patrick Mahomes is another one that he's going to be ranked in that top 15 from this season. Yes, he's going to miss the last 2 games of the season, 3 games, whatever it is. But he played enough games where we can be like, all right, he was a top 15 quarterback. I can't say the same for those other guys.
Yeah, again, if Mahomes wasn't injured, he's a top 10 quarterback easily. He's high up on my list, but him being injured, there's really just no point because he's going to be out of my next list anyways. Real quick, I was thinking about this today. I do want to talk about Joe Burrow and Cincinnati, and I listen. I don't think he's a Bengal anymore. I think this is it. If this is the last year on his contract, I don't know if he got paid. I
think he has one. He's got one more.
He has one. Listen, one more year or not. Are the Bengals going to pay him? Because clearly he's not happy there. Clearly it hasn't worked. Clearly he's been hurt the last 2 years, and he's missed a lot of games. Do they take on that risk of giving him a massive contract and having the same thing happen all over again? It's not the player for me. Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. When healthy, he is fantastic. And again, small sample size. He just started playing, 2-3 weeks ago? He's been back at it with a team that's pretty much out of the playoffs. It's hard to really gauge where he is and where the front office is with Joe Burrow, because this is now twice where he's been out for a majority of the time and he's come back and he's done fantastic, but then he hasn't, against the Ravens last week. In my opinion, I really think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to think about, if they get a trade, and just as a hypothetical, the Jets got 5 first-round picks, okay? It's not
all right, Mike, stop it. Stop it.
Stop. No, let me finish. As a hypothetical, you get 2 first-round picks for a guy like Burrow and maybe a good player. You're going to think about taking that, especially a Jets team that's going to have a top 5 pick and probably every single year. Not even like the Raiders or someone. The Raiders could be another team to throw a bunch of ammo at them. You never know. If they pay him, okay, they pay him. It's Joe Burrow. But if not, you get a haul, and you don't think that he's going to stay healthy the rest of his career.
Mike, we're talking about a guy who clearly is not happy in a place that is a way better situation than the Jets, and you think that he's going to want to go to the New York Football Jets. Not the Winnipeg Jets. Not the Winnipeg Jets, where he might have a chance to win. We're talking about the New York Football Jets in the NFL. No chance, dude. You could give him all 5 first-round picks. That dude ain't coming to play. He's going to pull an Eli Manning. Sure, send the picks. He ain't playing a single game for you guys. He's going to sit there on the sidelines. He's never going to show up. It's going to be a waste, and then you're going to be out 5 picks, and next thing you know, the Bengals are going to be good again because they have 5 first-round picks. That would be the dumbest move the Jets could make. If he's going to go, dude, there's no chance. I could see him being a Raider for sure.
What the fuck's the difference? They're just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah, but there's a stigma to the Jets.
That's true.
There's 100% a stigma.
That's why I said hypothetical situation.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to stay
It
as.
could be the Kansas City Chiefs. It could be anyone. If there is a team that is going to throw 2 first-round picks, 3 first-round picks on the table, you're really going to untouchable. The last 2 to 3 years, they have been out of the playoffs. He has been injured. He's clearly not happy. You already threw a bag at Jamar. You threw a bag at T. Higgins. Listen, it's clear it's not working. It's not working right now. And there's going to be change. They're not going to keep doing it. Will they sign him and I'll look like a dumbass? Yeah, probably. Listen, I think Joe Burrow's fantastic. I really think he is. But I think Cincy as an organization, they have been known for fumbling situations like these. It has happened for decades. So we shall see. We shall see. It might not be the Jets. It might not be the Raiders. It could be, it could be a team like the Colts. It could be a team like Arizona or someone, that have the players that can make a run with a quarterback, just a quarterback, So that's just my thoughts.
So, Mike, I want to ask you this because I think this is a question that not everyone's asking right now. They're all talking about is Joe Burrow going to leave? Is he gonna retire? I don't think enough people are asking, is this a Zach Taylor issue? Zach Taylor's only got 1 more year on his contract. Is he gone? Will he leave to make Joe Burrow happy? Or is this something bigger, right? If it's a Zach Taylor issue and Joe Burrow just doesn't like the coach and that's why he wants to leave, that's a very easy fix. Sucks for Taylor. Absolutely sucks. But that's something that the Cincinnati Bengals have to do. You have a top 5 quarterback in your team right now, and you got to do whatever you got to do to make this guy happy. Buy him a dog. Do something.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think it's been a front office issue for, a couple of years now. They had the 1 year with Zach Taylor where they went to the Super Bowl. But look what they've done besides that. Look at the defense that they've thrown out on the field and the product that they've shown every single year. They were a high school defense last year. They drafted Shamar Stewart this past season, and he hasn't even played a snap, bro. He hasn't played a snap. They have fumbled. Joe Burrow, you're the number 1 pick. You can't fumble on that, okay? You pick him and you hope for the best. They fumbled on everything else besides Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. The Trey Hendrickson, again, this goes to show the incompetency of the Bengals. Him and Hendrickson, the DN, they've had their issues. They had their issues for a while. It's always been their front office. It's always been their GM and their cheap-ass owners. It's been that for decades. And Zach Taylor, I'm sorry, is kind of the same. But they just haven't been able to get it right. And listen, is Burrow going to want to sit there, and is he going to want to go through a new GM? Is he going to want to go through a new head coach? Because then again, a new head coach comes in, a new GM comes in. What are they thinking? Is it time to rebuild? Is it time to move on from these big contracts? Is it time to start building up this defense? There's going to be a lot of moving pieces there. How much financial capabilities do they have? That is just a thought.
No, it's definitely not the best situation in Cincinnati, but it's one of those that we won't even know anything till February or March, and we're just going to keep talking about it because Joe Burrow's the quarterback, and he's a huge personality. He's going to always be interviewed. He's always going to have a press conference. He's always going to say something because he's a guy that speaks his mind. We're going to be talking about this for the next 3 months before we actually have any action taken. What do you have?
One more thing on Burrow. Think about a lot of the teams in the NFL that have, they have a quarterback, maybe they drafted him, maybe they traded for him, or they signed him via free agency, whatever. Like Atlanta, Michael Penix, they drafted him. This is his second year now. Rookie year, was hurt, came in only 5 games. This year, they are 4-10, 4-11. There are teams, in positions to win if they just have a better quarterback. And there are teams that are going to continue and do whatever it takes. If we can get better at this position and we have the ammunition to do it, why not do it? And a team like Atlanta is in that position. Arizona, there are going to be teams that are going to be checking in. And if they're going to get better and the price is right, they don't care. It's a business at the end of the day. Michael Penix, sorry, thank you for your time. See you later. You never know. Minnesota, Minnesota, they could do the same thing. 9, see ya. Like a guy like Joe Burrow, the Bengals need help all over the defensive side. All over the defensive side. You get a guy like you get it, you let Burrow, you trade Burrow away, and you get picks, then you're rebuilding and you can accept it because it's clearly not working.
I like it. All right, I feel like that's a good place to leave that at. I only have probably another 10 minutes I can stay on because I'm playing in a men's league game where we've already had an ACL and a hamstring injury occur on our team. It's not a great scene for us. So I want to get into one major topic and then let's hit our mortals and get on out of here. If you're okay with it, I would like to save the Dallas Cowboys talk for next week. Maybe not even next week because it's Christmas. I don't want to ruin my Christmas, but I will if I have to. But yeah, let's save that for next week. I want to talk about the Patrick Mahomes injury. He tears his ACL. Huge injury for the Chiefs. It seemed like I feel like everyone felt that on that drive, he was going to go down, they were going to score, and this thing was going to stay alive. And then that hit happens, and it's one of those, Patrick Mahomes, he's a guy that extends plays, and he creates. And, if he hadn't done that, if he wasn't that type of guy, does the injury happen? Probably not. But, that's what makes Patrick Mahomes. And I have a take on this. I think that this ACL injury is actually the best thing for Patrick Mahomes in this moment. I don't want to say it's not great that he's injured. It's not great that he tore his ACL. But this Chiefs team was going to be stagnant, and they were going to continue to do the same operation year after year. Why? Because they had the best player in football. And Patrick Mahomes will always get them the 10 wins no matter what because he's Patrick Mahomes. It's literally the Tom Brady effect. Give him whoever on offense, and he'll make do with it, and he'll make it work, and he'll get you to the playoffs. You'll get into the AFC Championship game. And, if he stayed healthy, yeah, they might have snuck in. I think they would have snuck in. But now the Chiefs are going to see what life is like without Patrick Mahomes on the field. They're going to see just how bad parts of their offense, parts of their team are without that type of guy in their offense. And in the long run, you're going to see this as a good thing for Patrick Mahomes. And he's already doing rehab, already had the surgery. I got an Adam Schefter update while we were recording. This guy, I have a feeling he's going to be back week 1, and this team's going to look completely different. It's going to be a completely different Chiefs team next year. We saw the last game probably between Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce's partnership. They got to go out and get a wide receiver. I don't know how they get anyone because they're in cap hell right now. I really like a Kyle Pitts situation there. I think the last game, if you can get what he did last game out of him in Kansas City, and let's not act like Patrick Mahomes hasn't done that before with some guys. You look at Juju Smith-Schuster. He pulled world-class football out of that guy. So I think a Kyle Pitts situation wouldn't be bad. I think that there's a number of guys that they could look at for, not to say cheap, but you could almost get them on a free where you're not really giving up much, and you can bring guys in, and you have Patrick Mahomes. And yes, I just said that we got to get away from that strategy, but now I think you're going to look at developing a stronger base for the guy. He can't do this all his own. You got to help the guy out.
100% agreed. Real quick, I think, like I said before, I think I agree with you 100%. I think this is the best thing to happen for the Chiefs organization, not Mahomes, not the injury, none of that. But it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call that he is not invincible. The O-line is, it's not invincible. The receiving core, they're not, invincible. There are parts of that offense that need work. And that was one of the biggest things for me is the personnel part of it. Their tackles, their wide receiver threes, their backup receivers. They are beatable. They are a beatable team, even with Mahomes on the field. Mahomes could beat any team that he wants, But I think at the end of the day for the Chiefs, the offense was Travis Kelce's slow and he needs to retire. Rashee Rice obviously was suspended. Xavier Worthy, couldn't really handle, the load of targets and receptions. Marquise Brown here and there. Tyquan Thornton, they can next year there will be guys in the free agent market that they can bring in for cheap, and I think we'll excel with Mahomes. And I truly think this is a big wake-up call for the GM and Andy Reid to really think about who they want to bring in and how they're going to protect him. because he was getting hit a lot this year. So I truly think the Chiefs are going to look at this like, hey, listen, we might be slipping now. We got to get better. I 100% agree with you, Kyle.
Absolutely. So yeah, I don't have a lot of time here, so I want to get into the mortals. And obviously I want to let everyone know, we will get into the playoff bracket next week. We will get into Super Bowl picks next week. There's a lot of fun stuff that we're going to be doing for the Christmas episode. So we are saving. We were going to save a lot, but now we're definitely saving a lot for that show. So that's going to be a very good one. Mike, let's get into the mortals here. Mortal Locks NFL Week 16. Mike, you're killing it. I'm killing it. You did better last week. You take the lead. Give me your spread pick.
So spread, I'm actually going to take Kansas City. I'm going to take them. I got them at -3 right now against Tennessee. I just think listen, the Titans, they blew their load against the freaking Niners. They were slinging it around. The Chiefs, I believe it's in Tennessee. A healthy quarterback. I think they can't lose this game. There's no shot. I'm taking them -3. Yeah,
Gardner Minshew.
I'll take a -3.
That is pretty sick that we get Gardner Minshew on Christmas Day. It is pretty sick. So Christmas Day is not ruined completely. I'm going to be taking the Bucs -3. I think that they've just been playing so bad, and it's time to turn the corner. They tried to turn the corner last week, failed. I think this is the week they turn the corner again. They got Mike Evans back. He looked awesome. The defense just you can't give up a 3rd and 28. You just can't do that this week. If we do that again, I'm going to lose my freaking mind. Bucs -3. Back over to you. You're 10 and I think you're like 10 and 5 on over under. So yeah, hit us with that one.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Ever since you told me not to take the overs, I have it. I think I've hit on every single one. You know, but we're going to go back to the under.
You know what's funnier though, Mike? I missed 8 overs in a row. So all right, back to your pick.
I didn't realize that actually, but you're a spread guy. Your spreads have been on one. Give me the under 46.5 Green Bay Chicago game. Division game, second time they see each other. I know you probably took the over. I think this has underwritten all over it. I feel like they've been scoring points left and right. Under's due to hit. Again, this will be their second meeting. I think this will be a big defensive game for them. Even though Micah Parsons is out, I think defense shows out both sides.
I like that a lot. I'm taking New England, Baltimore over 47.5. This is just a gross game. I hate that both offenses really aren't exciting. New England could easily put up 35, but if they don't have to, they won't. So it always makes me nervous betting with New England, but I'm taking the over 47.5. Baltimore's got to go get points, which means New England's got to go get points. Huge game for both teams. Both teams need a win. I think it's going to be a really fun offensive game. I hope.
Did you have the over for Green Bay that game?
No. I don't know why I gasped. I thought when I looked down at this, I thought you took my game, and then I realized you didn't. It was on me. Hand up. That was a dumb one on me.
Hey, listen, you got to prepare for those. You got to prepare for those moments. Yeah. Money line pick. I've been off on these recently. I need to get back. I've been gambling a little bit too much with those money lines instead of taking the heavy fave. It's all good. We're going to take the team I hate the most, Arizona. I like Arizona to finally get the dub. I think they're underdogs as well. I think they finally get it done. I think Marvin Harrison should be back. And Jacoby's been slinging it. I think they finally get a win. I'm going to take Arizona.
I like that. And I'm going to head out west, same division, same side of the country. Give me the 49ers.
Niners. Okay.
Yeah, I just like what Brock Purdy's been doing. I like what the offense has been doing. Did you see his ball fake, by the way?
No.
He pretended to throw the ball at the guys. He ran out of bounds, and then he apologized for it like a little bitch. Yeah, I was not happy with that.
Did he get flagged for that?
No.
Of course he didn't.
He's just got no balls. He should have just let it go.
Yeah, that's a crazy move. Pano, I will have Pano's picks. I do have his picks. We will post that. Pano, shout out to you. Has been on a roll. Yeah. Last couple weeks, the guests have been fantastic. Pano's killing it for them. He gets another week with us, and we'll see how he does.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, say a prayer for me. I just every week that I play in these games, I just really don't want to be injured.
I'm praying for you. Don't be injured. I'm praying. Don't tell me these stories. I don't want to hear a story about your injury.
Let's get out of here, though. Guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe. You all have been awesome. Let's have a good Christmas. We're 2 subscribers away from just being able to do the giveaway. I want to do the giveaway. I want to get to 400. Let's make it happen. 2 subscribers away. Share this, comment on it, subscribe.
Subscribe, guys. Good job.
Peace.